damn music. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do, right here on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio every weekday afternoon from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Number to call up, as always, is 888 Mad Dog 6. That is 888-623-3646. Let me come right out the box. Right now, and warn everybody. I am not having a very good day. I got major attitude today. There's a level of tolerance that I just don't have. And I'm warning everybody today. This ain't the day to mess with me. I am telling you right now, this ain't the day. Please be forewarned, this ain't the day. Because the kind of stuff that I have on my mind, the kind of attitude that I have on my mind reeks my nerves to such a degree that I don't know what to do with myself. Contrary to what might serve as an indication when I'm on General Hospital playing the role of Brick, I am no actor. I admire actors. I wish I was as gifted as them. Maybe if I practiced and learned, maybe I would be. But I am no actor. I say what I mean what I say, and that is that. I'm not one who gives a damn about what other people believe when I know I'm right. When I'm wrong, I don't mind being corrected. And I'm always open to modifications because they may have been angles that I did not see. But outside of that, I don't give a damn. Never have, don't now, never will. Period. And I'm saying that because on this particular day, let me be the first to say that I got a huge problem. You see, it's a day like today where LeBron James, the superstar basketball player, compared to the 12 or 13-year veteran that is James Harrison. They're not just oceans apart in terms of the field or the court of play. They're oceans apart off the court or off the field of play. Because one exercises common sense and the other wants to be a Billy Badass and act like he don't know what that is. Obviously, I'm talking about James Harrison. For the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me be the first to say, I respect him as a football player. I respect him as a man. I respect what he taught his son when he threw away that, sportsmanship trophy award or whatever it was. And he was like, nah, there's a standard. You're pursuing excellence. But this stuff going on between him and the NFL league office, emanating from the whole Al Jazeera report that alleged that both he, Clay Matthews, Peyton Manning at one time, along with others, were using PEDs. This stuff really rakes my nerves. Because you see, here's what it has morphed into. In case y'all don't know, James Harrison is making news. Because his belief is that, look, man, I don't feel like going up to league office. I'll be damned if I have to go up to the league office. Of course, the Players Association is going to defend him. They should. They represent players. We understand where they're coming from, although I think they need to be monitoring their dollars a little bit more and picking the fights that they pick and being judicious about it because their pockets aren't deep as the league office, financed by 32 billionaire owners. Nevertheless, I will concede and will acknowledge and will admit that the Players Union, the Players Association, is right to come to the defense of any player. We get all of that. We get it. But when it comes to players, particularly black players, you don't know what time it is? You're James Harrison, and you're literally going to go on the record in the aftermath of the league office saying you will show up to their office by August 26th, or you will be suspended probably for a minimum of 3 to 4 games. You're trying to tell me you're going to stick up your chest and act like you don't have to answer that? James Harrison was actually quoted talking to the media. He was on camera. He was talking to the media saying, hey, I ain't got no problems. If they want to come talk to me, come talk to me. No, they told you to come to them. Now, if they change their mind, they change their mind. And if they decide they want to fly to Pittsburgh to talk to you, they want to fly to Pittsburgh to talk to you. But if Roger Goodell in the league office has summoned you to the league office, damn it, you better go. Or get ready to be suspended. Mind you, everything that I just said has nothing to do with why I'm pissed off. You know why I'm pissed? You know why I'm ticked off? Because you got idiots out here who actually think that his position is favorable, that his position is right. We're so quick to tell these guys, go for it, fight, 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 fight. Nobody ever says, pick the fights that are wise. Pick the fights that you can win. The league office didn't sit there and say, James Harrison, admit that you used PEDs or else. And he's defiant because he's innocent. They did not say that. What they said was, we want to talk to you. A statement from you, followed by no Q&A, is unacceptable. Now they want to lean on the collective bargaining and all of this other stuff. So you know what Roger Goodell's going to do? He's going to suspend James Harrison. James Harrison is going to lose more than $1 million. Because you don't want to take a flight from Pittsburgh? Really? Because you don't want to take a flight from Pittsburgh to New York City. That's why. Because if you're willing to meet with them at your crib, how come you ain't willing to meet with them at their crib? Especially when either scenario is going to save you money. And it's going to help your team. I like Ryan Shazier. Jarvis Jones needs to continue to develop. Tua is a bad boy. Timmons is too. So is Bud Dupree. They got a chance this year. Could use James Harrison. Don't need him going for 4 games. Not when Le'Veon Bell is going to be gone for 4 games. Not when Martavis Bryant is definitely going to be gone for the season because he could not stay off the weed. And oh, by the way, not only could he not stay off the weed, but since he's been suspended, do you know this dude had the audacity to sit up there and call himself rehabbing and getting himself better, but he chilling in L.A.? Not Pittsburgh or some southern town. I forgot where he's from. Oh, you in L.A. That's where you want to go and cure your ills. Really? Really? You got to be kidding me. And then you're James Harrison, and you are taking this position. My angst, my ire, my disgust is not directed at James Harrison directly per se. It's to all those people out there that don't want to spew legit, bona fide arguments to sort of veer him away from what may ail him. You have a boss. You have a boss. And this is in this society that we live in, everybody is of the mindset that being a rebel is all that it takes. Nobody can identify with that. Let me take that back, because there's a lot of old school dudes that can. But in this modern day era, when it talks about being a rebel, I got no problems with that. I love that. But you got to be a rebel with a cause. Roger Goodell is the boss coming to you and asking you to have a conversation, a Q&A with the league office is not too much to ask. And when you sit up there and you want to act like you want to be defined, well, you know who acted like that? Tom Brady. James Harrison, you think you're more valuable to the NFL than Tom Brady? Have you looked in the mirror? Have you checked your resume? Have you substantiated and authenticated your credentials? You really think you compare to Tom Brady? Really? Is that what you think, James Harrison? Is that what you think? Tom Brady is going to serve 4 games. Tom Brady took that one step towards the Supreme Court and still ended up serving his penance. He fought and spent millions of dollars in lawyer fees. He can afford it, by the way. But he lost. What do you think this is? What do you think is going on here? This notion that these guys, people that want to go out there and support these guys, support them for what? Support them unemployed? I had my man Damian Woody, noted NFL analyst for ESPN, gonna sit up there and ask me that damn question. Am I in the pocket of the league? I ain't in nobody's damn pocket. I'm in my own pocket. But I do understand rules and regulations, and I do understand what level of power I have and how my power is limited. I'm not stupid, and I don't think it's wise to advise somebody else to be stupid. You could very well be right if you're James Harrison. You could very well be right if you're Damian Woody in terms of what's right and wrong. But guess what else is right? A collective bargaining agreement was negotiated. And the Players Association, because they didn't want the two-a-days and because they didn't want the physical activity, they wanted that trimmed down a little bit. They fought that fight. Plus, they wanted more money. They got that. And in return, the owner said, we want a 10-year deal. And oh, by the way, not only do we want a 10-year deal, which was very unconventional, by the way, but we also want to make sure that the commissioner's power is not diminished or limited in any way. You want your money? You want less of a workload? You want less of a jurisdiction and a purview at the, under the guise of NFL coaches and organizations and beyond? This is what we want in return. That's what it is. You know what that is, ladies and gentlemen? That's an agreement with your employer. You can call it a partnership all you want to, but you are the employee. And when Roger Goodell, the commissioner, comes calling you, that's what it is. I'll give you a perfect example. Call me what you want. You think if John Skipper or Connor Shell or Stephanie Drewley or Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney, look, Stephen A., I need you to roll up. You need to roll a Burbank. I ain't talk to you. What do you think I'm doing? I'm going. I'm going. Because he's the boss. And he summoned me there. And y'all know, all of you out there working 9 to 5s, busting your tail, paying your bills, working your behind off. No good and damn well you'd go to your boss's office too if you were summoned there. Why the hell are you advising James Harrison to do otherwise? See, it takes me back to something that I had long time ago. Over a decade and a half ago. Had this conversation at least 15 years ago. Had this conversation with Allen Iverson. Talked about being real. He talked about being authentic, unapologetic. He could do what he wants to do. He could dress the way he wants to dress. He could look the way he wants to look. He could act the way he wants to act. Fine. I said, you're absolutely right, AI. I just had a couple of questions. When you were drafted in 1996, what were you wearing on draft day? That was a suit. Remember that? Go back and look at footage. The braids that were in your hair at the time, were you wearing the braids then? No, you weren't. Had a nice fade. Tattoos all over it. Did you have that then? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You know why? Because you were trying to get paid. It was once you got paid that you said, let's be real. So at the end of the day, not that he realized it, because the minute he realized what I was saying, he got my point. Because some people just don't get it, and that's fine. It's when you do get it, but you still want to be defined with somebody else's money and somebody else's career and somebody else's livelihood that you ain't worth a damn. I'm not talking about James Harrison. I'm talking about the fools out there who would advise him to maintain his position, knowing it's going to cost him, knowing it may cost the Steelers, knowing it may cost Tom Coughlin. But you're going to advise him to do it anyway. Because it ain't your money. And it ain't your career. And it ain't your livelihood. So you don't give a damn. You know how you all are saying? You're the same when it comes to the weed. You got guys like my man Matt Kellerman on ESPN2 with me on First Take. Every weekday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Talking about how, you know what? They shouldn't even be tested for weed. Fair enough. That's not the point, though, is it? The point is, they do test for weed. In a league you voluntarily entered and signed a contract to play in. By the way, there are 32 teams in the NFL. Do you know that for 30 of the teams in the league, they reside in a state where weed is illegal? Weed is only legal, ladies and gentlemen, in 4 states. Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska. So for NFL purposes, the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks preside in a state where weed use is illegal. The other 30 teams, it is illegal. And since you're under the guise of the NFL, and the NFL is of the mindset that we can't make something legal that's illegal in 30 of the states, and we certainly can't be a proponent of allowing 2 of the teams in the league to use it without punishment, but ignore that latitude for the other 30, we have come to a conclusion that as a league, we will test for it. It is illegal until the government tells us otherwise or make modifications, therefore inciting us to probably do the same. This is what it is. And guess what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen? They're saying in return, we'll give you millions of dollars. But you're Marcel Darius. For the Buffalo Bills, you didn't want to listen. So you've cost yourself nearly $2 million. You're going to be suspended for 4 games. On a defense that desperately needs you because you went from having 54 sacks the year before to just 21 last year. With a coach in Rex Ryan that you players swear you'll walk through a wall for, knowing his job is on the line, knowing he's got to get it together. And you won't be there for at least a quarter of the season because you can't stay off the weed. Really? Really? Are you an addict? Martavis Brown, are you an addict? Carlos Williams, are you an addict? The list goes on and on. How many dudes do I need to point to? Are you addicts? That's our response now to dealing with potential addicts. Let's just not test them. Really? But you want to sell an NFL product to Madison Avenue. You want to continue generating billions annually. You want them to sell the products to the masses. You want to sit up there and act like you recognize the fact that you're role models to a younger generation of individuals on the come up following your example. To get to the NFL. And then we hear the most idiotic of things. You got players in the NFL with guns. Let's teach them how to use guns. Let's teach them about gun safety. You really, really think that's the problem? As far as I'm concerned, even though it's not most, it's not all, it's not even a lot, it's the very few. We all know the very few taint the many. And those very few who do it, I have no doubt they know how to use guns already. You're just teaching them how to use them better. But that doesn't address their temper. That doesn't address the few that I'm talking about and their willingness to harm other human beings. Sure you the NFL, you want to get involved in that? You sure you want that potential liability? I'm just saying. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. What damn world are y'all living in? I mean, people are getting on my nerves here because it's senseless. And see, when I sat up there, and like I said, I'm not going to get into politics here. That ain't what ESPN and SiriusXM hired me for. I'm not going there. I'm not telling you what candidate to pick for, what candidate to pick against. I'll never go there. But these issues are pertinent issues, not just in sports, not just in politics, but in life, because we need to talk about them. We need to talk about them. This is why I take your phone calls every day, because I want to talk about them. I just need your points to be quick because my lines are always full. But you need to understand what's going on. We heard the Republican nominee for the presidency of the United States talk last night and blame a particular party for the blight of black people in the United States of America. My response to that is simple. I'd love to hear the response from the Democratic side. I want to hear what both sides have to say. I don't want to sit there and dismiss one derogatorily and embrace the other. Both of you are trying to get my vote. Flatter me. Flatter me. I want to hear. I might have an idea who the hell I'm voting for. That ain't the point. I want to be flattered. I might know I want to buy this car, but I'll be damned if I ain't going to other dealerships to see if I can get a better offer. I'll be damned if I want that particular car that I'm not going to come back to that particular dealer and say, hey, I got these offers on the table. What you got for me? Same thing is applicable to a house or clothes or a watch or anything that you're trying to purchase. You know why? Because they want your money, which means that the product they're selling needs to be attractive enough for you to spend your money. The same principle comes with everything. This is real life. This is the real world. And damn it, y'all had better wake up and get with the damn program. I started off this show by talking about James Harrison because it's the same situation. Your immediate boss are the Rooneys because you play for the Steelers. But the Rooneys are the ones that empowered Roger Goodell. And giving Roger Goodell that dominion, he has the right to do what he wants to do. That makes him your boss. Because your boss says he's your boss. Robert Kraft wanted to protect Tom Brady. How did that work out? Because he conceded power to Roger Goodell for the greater good of the league. Roger Goodell is the boss of the NFL. He's the commissioner. And if he wants you to come to see him, go see him or hold on to your pride and take millions out of your bank account. Because whatever James Harrison's salary is, and I don't know what it is, I know at the very least he's going to lose 6 figures. Possibly 7. And all of that because you don't want to get on a plane and go an hour away to New York. That's why. Roger Goodell didn't tell you not to come with your union representation. He didn't tell you not to come with a lawyer. He didn't tell you to come strictly by yourself. He didn't tell you any of the things. He just said he wants to talk to you. And you're going to say no? Like you don't have to worry about any repercussions? You're going to say no? Like the Players Association who's going to fight on your behalf can prevent you from losing your money? And even if they are successful in preventing you from losing your money because you ultimately get your money back, what they can't prevent you from doing is missing games, which is going to cost Mike Tomlin and your teammates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. All that because you don't want to get on a plane? Do y'all remember the movie Pulp Fiction? You remember when Ving Rhames, was talking to Bruce Willis in that scene where they were playing Al Green in the background? Let's Stay Together. I'm so in love with you. No, I can't sing. I know that. But do you remember that scene? Let me sing it to you. Let me say it to y'all right now. Show you how bad I am when it comes to my movies. Are you ready for this? Nuno, do we have Let's Stay Together by Al Green? Because I remember Ving Rhames' lyrics to Bruce Willis, verbatim. If we don't have it, don't worry about it. He starts it off. I think you're going to find when all of this is over and done, I think you're going to find yourself one smiling MFer. Thing is, Butch, because that was Bruce Willis's name. Thing is, Butch, you got ability, but ability don't last. and your days are just about over. Now that's a hard effing fact of life. But that's a fact of life your behind is going to have to get realistic about. And then he goes on. And he goes on to say to him, the night of the fight, you might feel a slight sting. That's pride effing with you. F pride. Pride only hurts. It never helps. That was Vic Rames to Bruce Willis. That's Stephen A. to James Harrison. And all those people out there that are advising him to defy the commissioner. None of them are trying to pay your bills. None of them are going to replace the money that will be taken out of your pocket from a suspension. None of them can go on the field for you to play for Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's pride effing with you, James Harrison. Bump pride. Take your behind to New York and sit down with the commissioner. He is your boss, after all. Or you can always stop it by quitting the NFL and going to work somewhere else. That is the real world. Ain't my rule, ain't James Harrison rule, ain't none of y'all rule. That is the real world. For your job, for my job, and everybody else's. Let's stop advising people to be stupid and harmful to themselves. You ain't looking out for anybody when you do otherwise. You only looking out for yourself. 888-MAD-DOG-6 is the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. I see all of y'all on Facebook and beyond hollering at me. You know the number. I just gave it to you. Call the damn show. I ain't going nowhere until 3 o'clock. Peace.